I wasn't there from the beginning, but I was a friend with the guys, with Timo and Teemo, the guitar players that are still in the band already back then. And yeah, back then we were living all of us in a small city, and it was a big thing in that area to have this like big record deal and already tour a lot in Europe and stuff like that back then. So you know. So for me, even though I wasn't a member, I still say that I'm proud of the legacy and what we have
Amazing.
accomplished so far.
You're in the band doing vocals since the reunion from
Yes.
Cosmic World Mother.
Yeah. From
Okay,
that album. Yeah.
okay. And how was your experience with the guys, and how is going from Cosmic World Mother to towards the new album?
Make any music that people will like, or because we never knew if we can still write that kind of music. So, but all these three albums now that we have done since the reunion really shows that we have a good thing going on, and now we are touring all over the place. We just came home from Germany in a couple of days ago. We started the festivals. We're gonna have a Finnish tour. We are talking about different areas in the world to tour and everything. So we are. Yeah, we're in a really good place and looking forward to what the new album is gonna bring.
Cool. Um, the title, The Regeneration Itinerary, suggests a compelling concept. Could you elaborate on the central themes and lyrical ideas explored in this new album?
Yeah, well, this album sort of kind of turned into a really personal album for me, and that's why it's called the Regeneration Itinerary because this is been big changes going on in my life, and this is sort of how to say like a little bit of like a guidebook, like
Yeah,
it's a story about the journey and how to reach this kind of like a spiritual enlightenment and rebirth maybe in some kind of a way as well. And this album takes you to a lot of like both good and bad experiences and low and high points and so why it's called the itinerary is just how to say like something that hopefully will cheat some people or they maybe get something out of this album and maybe even learn a little bit.
that's really good. So the three singles that you have released
Mhm.
so far are very different from one and between the song and the other song, between all the song are very different. First single has a electronic part, and second single is more symphonic, third single is a bit more blackish. How do you can say in the total part of the album, what can we find in musically talking in the album so far?
Yeah, well, I think this is why we chose these three singles now, is because we wanted to show off what the whole album is about. Because as you said, there's a little bit more electronic stuff than usual.
Mhm.
Maybe back in the day, with Cypher and
Yeah.
AM God,
Yeah, yeah,
there
yeah.
were a lot more of like
When the guys
electronic.
become
Yeah.
is start talking themselves, Havoc Unit,
Wanted to show off that we're gonna have a little bit more of that on the album, but also that's why we also chose to uh, to release the second single, Prophetical Mercury Implement,
Mhm.
because that one also shows off the black metal side or the more melodic side of And Oceans. Then
Yeah.
on the third single, that was a little bit more harsh, a little bit more aggressive. So we were also on this album, the new album, we have a lot of more like aggression and more of riff.
Okay. Well, um, could you share some insights on the songwriting and recording process for the Regeneration Itinerary? Was
Yeah, well,
the collaborative dynamic within the band, and were there were any
yeah,
particular challenges?
well, sort of. We have the last three albums we have done like the guitar player and well the guitar players and also our keyboard player Antti that they make their own songs and then we go through them together and see what we want. You know, everybody puts their own parts on it and usually the last parts is then vocals. Uh, so these three albums have been sort of created in the same way. This album was a little bit different with the drums we did in our rehearsal room this time, and but also well I had some problems with my voice actually this time, so that was a little bit bad. So that was
Oh, that's
yeah, so there was some
awful.
I had to I got really sick and yeah I got a really bad flu that this is the
Okay.
first time this happens for me in the studio, but not nothing major, you know. But yeah, then we sent it over to Necromorbos with studio, and he mixed it and made the master, and here we are.
I was asking you about your vocal process here in the album,
Hmm.
letting out the part that you were a bit sick here. So, how was your recording of voices process? Or what techniques
Yeah.
did you use there?
Well, this time it was kind of fun to experiment a little bit more because I think there was so much different riffs than we had on the later albums. On As in Gardens, So in Tombs, we had a very
Amazing
melodic
album. I
album.
love it.
Yeah,
You know.
a very melodic album, and I think I wanted to have a little bit more of that high pitched, more how to say normal black metal sounds. On this album, I think there was almost like a lot of industrial and almost a lot of even like going towards death metal sometimes. So I really wanted to show off that and not doing the basic black metal screams. Also trying to make the vocals be as varied as the riff material. And of course, there was all these electronic parts on this album as well that really needs. A little bit of different sounds as well. So this is the first time on an Oceans album that I use like distorted vocals, a little bit more
Okay.
like industrial and yeah, it was kind of fun. And there's even some clean vocals on some tracks, so that's pretty cool.
Okay. Let me just a question apart. I think I've seen you in a band before in Fintroll, maybe.
Been touring with Fintroll now for 19 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, um, An Oceans has been a long-standing band in genre that has seen many changes. What do you believe has allowed the band to remain relevant in black metal scene and continue to create so compelling music after so many years?
And that really pushes the boundaries and don't really care which genre they are put in. So I think that also, how to say, like that also makes it relevant because it evolves and it doesn't. And Oceans have never done, you know, the same album over and over again. It's trying to renew ourselves on every album. So for me, that's something that makes it really interesting to listen to, and I think that fans think that as well. They, you
Okay.
know, you never really know what the band is gonna come up with.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. I think one of the greatest comeback in metal scene all over these years is Cosmic World Mother. It's a really, really good album.
Mhm.
Well, do you know? You don't know what to expect with the band, so that's why it's so amazing. For those who might be new to an oceans, maybe here in Colombia, what's the key element or feeling that you hope that you can take away from from experience the regeneration itinerary?
Well, as I said, I think it's a really, really diverse album. So I think that you can find a lot of different styles of metal in there. And I think for, you know, it's it's an album for the black metal fans, but it's also an album for more industrial fans. There are an album for people that like melodic stuff. So I think, it's kind of an easy album to how to say, to inherit,
Yeah,
to
I know.
start liking. It can be a little bit strange, when you put on the the first song of the album, Inertia, and it's has all these electronic parts and stuff like that. But I think in the end, people will really like that, and from all the spectrum of the genre.
Okay, that's amazing. Well, Matthias, has been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much for being with
No
us
problem.
at Publimetro and Roll the Radio.
Hmm.
For the last question, I would like you to send a regard to the people that is following us in
Hmm.
and following the band in Publimetro and Roll the Radio. If you want, thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I really hope that we can make it to Colombia any day soon here. That's a part of the world where I think right now black metal is a really big thing. And we haven't been there so far, so we really hope that we can get there one day. And or else than that, I really hope that you will like the album and keep listening to us.
Thank you so much, Matthias. See you here in Colombia. I hope so, and we have a beer for sure.
Yes, definitely.